Hello there, it's Phumlani Majosi, the host of the Phumlani Majosi show, where we give you a Black conservative perspective on local and global socio-economic affairs. I am back. I was in Israel this past week, spent some time there. I will talk more about that in the upcoming videos. In fact, I'm working on a column where I will discuss my experience in Israel this past week. So this episode is not about that. We are just going to push that out. But I just want to say to you, I was in Israel, and thank you so much to the people. A big thank you to the people who engaged the video content that I produced from Israel. It really was. I am thankful for your engagement, for sharing um, the videos. My mission with them was to basically tell the story of where I was and what I made of the environment. But more is going to come up on the story of Israel over the past week. And then today it was a great day. We spent time here in Johannesburg, in Rosebank, where we were basically talking about it was the Kingsmead book fair. It was an honor to be invited to sit and be a panelist with other authors, and a panelist with other authors, and basically to tell what my book is about, and why it is important to get my book, Lessons from Past Heroes, at a bookstore near you. Well, there are three things I put out there, three key points I made at the Kingsmead Book Fair. The first one was that I foresee no changes in public policy after this election. In other words, the status quo will stay will stay with us. There will be no change. There will be no drastic change in a new direction on foreign policy. But what does the status quo mean? If things stay where they are, what does that mean? It means, of course, we are going to face the same socioeconomic challenges that we all know about. The challenges of skyrocketing crime, skyrocketing unemployment rates, problems of immigration, corruption in the country, problems of service delivery, the problems of the labor market, where it's very difficult to hire and fire, and we don't have a stronger labor market that is competitive, that can attract more people into jobs. We don't have that. In fact, that can even attract investors as well. We don't have such a labor market. So, I mean, on education, things will stay as they have been. So we are going to get into a status quo, really, because why? Because the ANC will remain dominant. And so long the ANC remains very much dominant on public policy, in this country, don't expect to see any sort of dramatic changes in a direction that this country needs to compete with countries like China, Brazil, Chile, Indonesia, and so on. Don't expect that we will get there, because we'll continue being on where we have been over the past a decade and a half. So don't expect changes. Then the second point I made was that we are a great country. We're a country with huge potential, no doubt. We've got the talent. That is very important. Where we have gone wrong is, of course, policy. In policy, we have been very, very wrong. And on decisions we make as a society, we have been very wrong, and that is why the country is going downhill. And I don't see the ANC saving the country. They have failed. So that's one second point I made, that we do have potential. What has really hurt us are the decisions we have made as a society. We already do have the foundations, we do have the institutions, that work better. They're not perfect at all, but they do work. They are in a state where we can build something out of them, something out of job creation, out of wealth creation, out of stronger families, out of a stronger law and order. So we do have those basics. I did stress at the Kingsmead book fair that our problems as people of South Africa, they are not the problems of the DR Congo, the problems of Cameroon, the problems of Burkina Faso, of Mali, of Gabon. Those are not the problems we have here. Here we have problems of a sort of a middle income sort of state, or lower end of the middle income sort of level, when you do compare nations around the world. So that's where we are. And if we are there, then we're lucky, because we can build something explosive out of that, something that can really take South Africa on a new direction that can change its history for the better forever. So that's the second thing. I said, we don't have good, we've made very wrong decisions, and that has hurt us. And then, of course, the third one was that, look, we have to take responsibility. The people we have in power, they never voted themselves into power. We voted them into power. So we also must be held accountable for the status of the country, or for the state of the country. Stop blaming other whatever, apartheid and other people, other civilizations. No, this is a democracy. We are responsible on what happens to this country. So we've gotten it to this mess. We can fix it again. So I think that is very, very important to highlight. So those are three things I emphasized at the Kingsmead book fair. So it really was an honor to be them. And of course, today we saw Ramaphosa speaking at the ANC's Siyanqoba rally. As usual, Ramaphosa, he says that his party has a plan to address the sky-high unemployment rates, has a plan, but aren't they the ones who have been responsible for this very shocking unemployment rate? Of course, it's been them, with bad public policy, with every kind of, with many, many policies that are counterproductive and that suppress economic productivity, and therefore resulting in sky-high joblessness. They are responsible for that. And now they are coming back to say, look, we do have a plan. What plan now do you have now? So people must not fall for this. Our leaders must be held accountable, especially Ramaphosa's party, the ANC, must be held responsible, accountable for the damage it has done to the country over the past 30 years. They must be held accountable. And as a voter, you at the ballot box must hold them to account, must hold them accountable. That is very, very important. And then it defends BEE, Black economic empowerment, something I have been very critical of. I think it's destructive to our economy, and it's not needed. It's not something we need. We must focus on building on education, building a competitive environment, invest in human capital, cultivate a culture of entrepreneurship, invest in entrepreneurs. It's as simple as that. That's the formula, folks. Lower taxes, reduce taxes to stimulate economic growth and let people keep the money in their pockets and spend it. They know better how to spend their money, not government bureaucrats. They don't know. You and I know better on how we should spend our money. So, I mean, there's nothing new. Ramaphosa is busy making the case that somehow they will be different now. No, they will not really be different. So they have been quite destructive. And look, I have been clear many, many times for those who follow me, and that is South Africans have a choice on Wednesday. This Wednesday, when they go to vote, they have a choice. Either they want the status quo to continue, or they bring change in a direction that will stimulate economic growth, stimulate the private sector, have stronger law and order, address the issues of education. It's up to them what South Africans want. This is a democracy. And I've been very clear that whatever choice they make, whatever the choice they make, South Africans, they must remember that there will be results, right? There are consequences to every decision. So every decision you make matters, because it will have the results, the outcomes, the consequences of that. So they must know that for every decision they make, there will be a result, and they must live up to that result. Because it's a democracy, when things go bad in a democracy, then the voter must take responsibility for that, because they are the ones who really determine the fate of the country. They are the ones who determine the future of their country. And if South Africans say, we want to keep things as they are, we are fine with this, we don't want to bring change, that is fine. It is their choice. But then people like us who believe in responsibility, personal responsibility, we are going to come back and remind you that start telling us that is the apartheid system when your governance is failing, when we have leaders who fail on governance. Stop telling us that is colonialism. You can fool other people with that. You can't fool me, and you can't fool many South Africans out there. Actions have consequences, right? That's how things are. And live with those, and stop blaming other people when you continuously vote for incompetence and corruption that weakens our country. So that's what I want to say today. Thank you so much for following me and my comments. I really appreciate it. Remember, I'm on X at Phumlani M. Machozi. I do have a website, phumlanimachozi.com. And just a reminder that this weekend I will be publishing the photos that I took in Israel, especially the sites where Hamas terror group slaughtered hundreds of Israeli citizens. So I do have those photos. I'm going to publish them this weekend. I think they are very important, so that you see the destruction that Hamas militants did to the people of Israel, and slaughtering hundreds and hundreds of Israeli people. It was shocking to be there. But as I said, more is coming in my column. I will continue. I will be producing a few videos, if not a video, but at least a video for sure. And then, of course, I'm writing a column about that. Expect that column to be published in the upcoming week. And remember, also, I'm on Facebook, Phumlani M. Machozi. I have a Facebook page. I'm on Instagram at Phumlani M. Machozi. I'm also on LinkedIn, Phumlani M. Machozi. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to this show, the Phumlani Machozi Show. We'll chat soon.